Hi everyone, today I bring you a new tutorial of user interface design, modern and multicolored, both on the button, text and icons, with the option to keep the button highlighted and show the title and icon when the secondary form is open. In addition to implementing all resizing options, drag the form, maximize, restore, minimize and close the form. Maybe you're asking, how is it possible to change the color of the icons? Well, this is thanks to FontAwesome. In summary, this tool allows you to create vector-based icons to CSS from a text font format. I'm sure many of you have used it when creating pages or web applications, where it is really simple to place icons with the custom color and size. There are other web fonts, however, all are only for inclusion in web pages and style sheets. Then one day it occurred to me, why not integrate into desktop applications? After all, they are only web fonts and we can convert to image format, but others had already thought about it. Well, I found 3 results in the GitHub repository. The third is the one that met all my expectations, even published the library in NuGet packages, under the name of FontAwesome.sharp. The last update was 7 months ago, developed by Thomas and Kurtjan, with a total of 15,000 downloads. This is open source. You can download the source code from the repository. The last change was 2 months ago, but they haven't published it yet. You can read all this for more information. For Windows Form 6 classes are available, which we can use according to needs. The text box and the button are integrated into the Visual Studio toolbox. We can also integrate WPF. This is the web font file that contains all the icons. Well, all the credits for these developers, but what surprises me is that it only has 15,000 downloads in these 2 years. Maybe it's the reason why they don't publish more updates, since FontAwesome already has 1,500 free icons, and in this version of the package only 1,300 icons are available. I sincerely hope you do not abandon the project, because the truth is very interesting and I like the ease of adding icons with custom colors and sizes in our desktop applications. And this avoids work tedious to download or design icons with a certain color and size. Well, having said all of the above, let's start with the tutorial. First we will install the awesome font icons. To do this, we go to the project, right-click, and manage NuGet packages. We search FontAwesome.sharp and install. Once the installation is finished, a new tab will be added, in it 2 controls, a button and a picture box. If these controls are not added automatically, add the library manually to the toolbox. Well, let's start designing the main form. We add a panel for the side menu. In the dock property, we place left to attach to the left. We change the width to 220 pixels. Finally, we change the background color, in this case RGB color. We add another panel inside the menu to place a logo. In the dock property, we place top to attach to the top. I will place a height of 140 pixels. Well, now let's add buttons with awesome font icon. We attach to the upper part through the dock property. We place a height, for example 60 pixels. In flat style we place flat. In flat appearance, we set the border size to 0. We look for the FontAwesome tab, and assign an icon. You can use any of these icons available in the library version. You can use the search engine to find the name of the icon faster, for example a statistical graphics icon. Well, in the icon char property of the button, we place the name of the icon. However, only a small inconvenience. It is very difficult to locate the icon, since it only allows you to place a character for the search, and it is very difficult to find the icon in the 1,300 icons in this version. So an update would be good where you can place the full name of the icon. Well, for now I will leave it with this icon, and later I will show you the fastest way to place the icons. Well, we chose an icon color. We change the size, for example, 32 pixels. We change the color of the font. In image alignment, we place centered left. In the same way for the text, we align to the left. In relation to texture and image, we place image before text. We duplicate these icons, for example 5 more buttons. We change the text and name of the remaining buttons. Once finished, we select everything and apply a padding of 10 pixels to the left and 20 pixels to the right. Well, now let's see how to change the icons more easily, since it is really complicated to change from the designer's properties. Well, we go to the Solution Explorer, deploy the main form, and open the Form Designer. We locate the buttons, for example the Data Panel button. To this button we will assign any of these graphic icons. Well, we place ourselves on the icon char property, and place the name of the icon we want to use. For example this. The icon changed correctly. In the same way for the Order button. We look for a suitable icon for the use case, for example a shopping cart icon. We do the same for the missing buttons.
I rise just like a phoenix, born from the ashes. I take care of my own. Torn down where assassin, you can't suffocate my spirit.
Well, we already have all the icons assigned on the buttons. We save and close the designer code. Now we open the form code. We import the font.sharp library. We declare fields privately to store the current button and a panel to apply a left border to the button. In the constructor, we initialize the left edge panel of the button. We assign a size, for example 7 pixels wide, and 60 pixels high, which is equivalent to the height of the button. In the width, you can place the width that you want. In this case I'm left with 7 pixels. Finally, we need to add the left edge panel of the button to the menu panel controls. Well, now we create the following methods. A private method of empty type to highlight the active button, as parameters an object of the sending button and a color. We create a condition to verify that the button is different from null. First we assign the current button with the sending button. For this it is necessary to convert the object to the same type of button. We change the background color of the button. For example a RGB color 373681. We change the text color of the button to the color parameter. We align the text towards the center. We change the icon color to the color parameter. We change the ratio text and image to text before image. We align the icon to the right. Now, in panel left edge of button, we change the background color to the color parameter. We assign a new location. On the x-axis, you can place any, in my case 0. On the y-axis, we place the current location of the y-axis of the button. Then we get the location of the y-axis of the current button. We put visibility in true, and finally we bring to the front. Well, that's all about the button customization and the left edge of the button. Now we create another method to disable button highlighting. we create a condition to verify that the current button is different from null. Here we simply return the button settings to the default values. In background color, we place the original color of the button. In the same way for text color. We align the text to the left. We assign the default color of the icon. We show the icon before the text. We align the icon to the left. Finally, we invoke the method before highlighting the button, and thus deactivate the previous button. Good, and that's all in terms of menu buttons. Now I will create a structure to store a quantity of RGB colors.
Suffocate my spirit, 'cause I'm the king on my own throne, king on my own throne.
Here I already have a list of selected colors. This is totally optional. You can send a color directly by invoking the activate button method.
You'll never see me fall, fall. You'll never see me fall. Watch me rain.
Now we create the click events of each button and invoke the activate button method. As the first parameter we send the sending object of the event, as the second parameter we send a color. In my case I will select a color from the color structure. We do the same for the remaining buttons. Well, let's try the application. The highlighting of the button works correctly. The color, the formats and the left border are applied. In the same way the previous button returns to its original state when selecting another. Well, now I will add a logo to restart everything. In name I will place start button. Here we will simply create a restart method. In this, we invoke the deactivate button method, and hide the visibility of the left edge of the button. Let's test the application. Works correctly. Now we will add the custom title bar. To do this, we add a panel. I will name the title bar. In the dock property, we connect to the top. We assign a height that we want. Finally, we change the background color. Well, now we add an awesome font image box to show the icon of the current secondary form or active button. We change our name, for example, current child form icon. We open the form designer code, locate the current child form icon, and change the icon, for example a house, which means main start form. You can change the size. Finally, we change the icon color, for example a purple color. Now we add a tag to show the title. We change the text color. We change the text home or start. Finally, we change the name, for example, title of child form. We go to the form code, and add the following lines of code in the activate button method. We indicate that the icon of the current child form is equal to the icon of the current button. Finally, we change the color of the icon to the color parameter. We copy these lines, and go to the restart method, where we load the default values. Let's test the application. Works correctly. Now let's add the function of dragging the form from the title bar panel. Select the panel, select the Events tab, locate the mouse down event, and create the event. I will copy the code so as not to lengthen the video. We import the Interoperability Execution Services library. This library allows us to use native libraries of the operating system, in this case the User32 library, which allows you to move the form through the mouse event. Now we invoke these two methods in the title bar panel event. Let's test the application. Works correctly. Now we can remove the title bar. For this we turn to the constructor. In this form text we place an empty string. We remove the control box, and activate double buffer to reduce the flickering in the form graphics. Let's test the application. Works correctly. However, by maximizing the form occupies the entire screen, hiding the taskbar, and that hurts if you want to work with several applications. To solve the problem we must set the limits in the maximized form, which will be equal to the work area of the desk. Let's test the application. It works correctly, only here it has a transparent border. If you want you can remove the entire edge of the form as we did in other videos. However, the function of resizing the form will be eliminated when anchoring towards the sides of the desktop or resizing from the edges of the form. So you would have to code everything again. Well, now let's open secondary forms inside the main form and show the title of the current form. We create a method of opening child form name, as a parameter a field of type form. We declare a form type field to store the current child form. We create a condition. If child form is different from null, we close the current form. In this way we will only open a single form, that is, when opening a form, we close the previous form. If you want to open multiple forms, simply delete these lines of code. Well, we indicate that the child form is not top level. We remove the edge of the form. In the dock property, we indicate that you filled the container. We need a panel to contain the child form. For this we place a panel. But first, I will place another panel to give a shadow effect.
Born from the ashes. Born from the ashes. Born from the ashes.
under the title bar. Now we add a panel to contain the secondary forms. Name we'll put desktop panel. In dock property, we place fill to fill in all the remaining space. Optionally add a background color. Well, in the code, we add the child form to the controls on the desktop panel. We associate the form data to the panel. We bring the form to the front and show them. Finally, we show the text of the form in the title tag. Well, now let's add secondary forms and open in the desktop panel. I added a form for each button in the menu panel. Let's invoke the method openChildForm from the button click events. As a parameter, we send a form instance. We do the same for each button and form.
I rise just like a phoenix, born from the ashes. I take care of my own. Torn down where I stand. You can't suffocate my spirit, 'cause I'm the king.
I have an object instance error. Well, the error is because I placed the form icon, and not the current child form field. Let's test again the application. Works correctly. Well, now we need to close the current secondary form when we press the start button. So here we simply close the child form. Let's test the application.
'Cause I'm the king on my own throne, my own throne. King on my own throne, my own throne. You'll never see me.
Works correctly. However, some controls of the secondary forms leave the area and do not fit the current size. It is practically not responsive. To solve the problem, you must create the secondary form with the same size of the desktop panel, in addition to correctly setting the anchor and dock property according to criteria. Well, here in the main form you can add some basic elements, for example a logo, a watch, some important data or notification messages. As I said, if you want your form to be responsive, you must set the anchor property correctly. In this case, I want the logo to always remain centered. For this, on the anchor property, we place none. In this way the logo remains centered even when resizing the form or maximizing. Then you must do something similar with the anchor property of all controls on the form. Well, finally we add buttons to close, maximize and minimize the form. In the close button, we simply exit the entire application. On the maximize button, if the state of the window is normal, we maximize the form. Otherwise we restore the size of the form. In the minimize button, we simply minimize the form. Let's test the application. It works correctly, however the buttons remain in their current position and do not fit the current size. To solve the problem, we turn to the anchor property again. Select the three buttons, and anchor the controls to the top and right. Let's test again. Now everything is correct. Well, that's all in this tutorial. You can add more things, or you can remove some elements, for example if you like something simpler like this. Well, I hope you liked it, and until next time.